everybody, and welcome back to Nemo Info, a podcast exploring the worlds of movies, video games, and TV shows. I'm your host, Nate, and today I'm joined by guest hosts Chaz and Fergus. How you guys doing today?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. Thank you for having me yet again. This week, I have been mainly playing Steins Gate and just started watching Rick and Morty Series 5 on Netflix. I think it came out this week. Or
How are you finding that?
yeah, it's maybe 2 or 3 episodes in. It's a lot more extreme than the previous series is. I think they've got quite comfortable with not getting cancelled now.
Oh yeah, I mean they did get renewed for like 70 episodes before, didn't they? So if I remember
Yeah,
that correctly.
yeah, there's a lot of episodes to come yet.
Yeah, I'm good, man. The weather's been improving lately, a bit more sunny, so I'm a bit more cheerful from that. And in terms of what I'm playing, RimWorld released an update recently, so I am suckered back into that yet again, which is always good. And I've only got like 160 hours, so from what I understand, I've barely scratched the surface. But that game, I can see why that game is very complex if you get into it. It's good.
So obviously I completed Horizon last week. I decided to try Dying Light 2 out a bit more. I actually ended up doing like a lot of recording and figuring out some animation stuff. So that was interesting to do. You guys have seen a preview of that. That took me like 5 hours to be honest, just to figure out the mouse moving tinily. It was so weird.
Yeah, that's looking really cool, man. Especially the fact that it's an automatic thing. When you first showed me, I thought you had, animated it along to our voices. So the fact it detects it is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, that was the issue. It was just like because it uses vector and I was using PNG, so I was just trying to figure that out. And I've never really used Adobe Animate before, so that was interesting. But my side, I finished The Expanse.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I still haven't watched the last episode. So how do they wrap things up, like without spoiling it?
I watch
how-
it first.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I was gonna
I
say,
feel,
how do you
yeah,
feel about the
I
end?
can't say. I can't say.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I can't say. I've loved the show all the way through, so that's all I'll say. But I can't say about the final episode because yeah, we had the query about the little girl storyline. So yeah, we'll add that into a conversation probably next week or the week after. Outside of that though, people, last week we had an interesting topical debate on is comic book burnout coming, and also a review for the Batman and a lovely little extra episode for the Batman because we went to go watch it on Saturday, and James likes to remind us that he was the only person that saw the movie all the way through because the rest of us had to actually give in to the bathroom break because that movie is 3 hours long, and I will not watch that movie again until it comes out home so I can pause it. When it comes to comic book burnout, though, I definitely got into an interesting conversation of where each like studio property is going, but also like what could possibly, how could they possibly adapt and how burnout might not occur. So it was really awesome. But make sure you go and listen to it, but also go see the movie and come back to see the Batman review because we also do a spoiler discussion. So this week, people, we're going to be winding our thoughts back to our favorite gaming experiences and stuff that may relate to that. And I think it'd be really good to actually look back because gaming really does tie back to people's like lives, specific events in people's lives. They tie into specific things that maybe helped them. I'll definitely get into that myself. Special moments that they cherish and everything. And we'll also be getting up to a quick roundup of the news. Though it would have been nice if the PlayStation State of Play would have happened before we did the recording, not 2 hours after. So that's frustrating. Though we may get into a few guesses in what they might announce. I know they're mainly focusing on the Japanese publishers they've said this time, so that'll be interesting to see, to be honest. But yes, before we get into that, we've pretty much discussed where we're at in the week. So let's dive into the news, shall we? And I'm just gonna throw it off the bat there. I usually start with the TV stuff, but like 10 minutes before we started this podcast, Disney decided to just go, here, have the Obi-Wan teaser trailer. And honestly, like that, as soon as the music started and it looks stunning, it's less than 2 minutes long. And honestly, just I don't know, the fact that they're like having the Inquisitors in there from Star Wars Rebels and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The underwater base is there from the looks of it from Jedi Fallen Order, which I think's awesome. Like the fact it links to that, and they've got the twirly lightsaber, which I think's going to be hilarious. From I wonder if they'll fly with the lightsaber because that was an interesting thing from Star Wars Rebels. They actually flew with a lightsaber. But yeah, just the music is so powerful alone, and like, yeah, I know Fergus. Yeah, Fergus, you want to hop in because I know you want to say something.
Yes, no, I've literally just watched it and it is really good, like to the point where I might actually subscribe to Disney Plus to watch it. I got very strong Star Wars Episode 1 vibes from it.
Yep,
But
same.
imagine Episode 1 was good, a bit prequely and a TV series. I think you probably got what that is.
I
Really.
mean, like, I think it's because of the Tatooine aspect, because obviously, you know, a major part of Phantom Menace is set on Tatooine. But they have said it does start on Tatooine, and they do leave Tatooine
Yeah.
quite early on. So I'm quite happy with that. And it is 6 episodes, and it is a limited series, so it's only one series. And I'm like, yeah, that's how you do it. Like, you know, Eternals, like I said it before, Eternals, the film should have been a limited series, in my opinion. Give them 6 episodes, different time eras, and do that. And I think Obi-Wan is going to have the breathing room to do that. And whereas the Mandalorian and Boba Fett are setting like stuff up each season, teasing new things, I think the fact that this is going to be a limited series, they're just going to put it all out there. Because obviously Hayden Christensen's coming back as Darth Vader as well as Ewan McGregor as in the titular of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Joel Edgerton's coming back as Uncle Owen. I don't know if the actress coming back as Aunt Beru's coming back. You see Luke in the teaser, which I think's awesome, and it's just the Inquisitors are still hunting the Jedi, but they're using the fact that the Jedi have to intervene. It's just in their nature and trying to, you know, pull them out. And like some of the characters who they're gonna, just I don't know. The fact you gotta wait till May for it, and is it? I believe Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is May as well, so that's gonna be insane. Like we got Moon Knight coming out in a couple of weeks, and that just
I might as well jump in and give my 2 cents because I sneakily watched it before recording as well. I may have said before, but I'm not like a huge Star Wars fan, especially the new stuff. But I do have some good memories of the prequel trilogy, at least the first, well, I guess one actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, having the Duel of Fates in there was really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing them bring back Ewan McGregor. Obviously, that's probably the main selling point for me. And like Fergus said, the Tatooine aesthetic is going to be nice to see again. I probably will give it a go from the trailer. Looks good enough to have a check out, and as you said, Nate, 6 episodes, that's nice and condensed. I won't, wander off and lose my focus, hopefully. So things like that work pretty good for my attention span with these kind of things.
So on the Tatooine front as well, I noticed like just from the shots though, Tatooine usually appears more orange and more, like beige and everything. And this it seemed had a more grey aesthetic to it, like, dark, and like I feel that there was an oppression over the shots, which I think's really interesting. And but no, just wrapping up though, for me, like Revenge of the Sith has always been pretty much one of my favorite Star Wars things because, as I've said before, the final fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan I still think is one of the greatest fights in cinematic history. The fact that they did that over 3 months of training, I'm just wondering, because they have said that there's going to be a rematch in this film, and people saying it might close a loophole from the original trilogy. And I know there's a fan film online of Obi-Wan versus Vader on the Death Star. Someone remade it and intercut the movie, and it's really awesome. And I'm wondering maybe because obviously in the original film the lightsabers were really heavy technically, so they couldn't fight like that. So I'm wondering if maybe it'll be a blend of the fast paced of the prequel trilogy and a mix of the other trilogy, because technically this is only set 10 years after. I believe it's only set 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, but this is going to be 17 years after the last film. So it's been a long time coming. But honestly, yeah, people, go check out the teaser trailer. But yes, moving on to other movie topics, though, quickly talking about DC Super Pets movie. Just this weird, like, film coming out based around, like, Crypto the Super Dog, Ace the Bat Hound, and all other, animated creatures from the DC universe, and having their masters in as well. So obviously, John Krasinski is voicing Superman. Dwayne Johnson is Crypto, but it seems he's a bit naive in this, which I think is really interesting. And then Kevin Hart is Ace the Bat Hound. And it was revealed in the new teaser trailer today that Keanu Reeves is playing Batman, is voicing Batman in this film, which I think is hilarious and perfect. Just another thing to add to his belt. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's absolutely hilarious, to be honest.
I did see the trailer for this, and it's quite a strange idea, really. I mean, probably quite entertaining, but I'm not very familiar with the Bat Dog and Crypto, the Super Hound and stuff. So, I mean, this is whole new territory. So the relationship between the pets and the humans is that going to be interesting, I think, there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like and also it just seems like a fun film. DC's going in a more darker, serious direction with a lot of its stuff, but they are course correcting with a lot of their properties as well, which I think is really awesome. Go see our Batman review for our discussion on that and recent Joker movie, and we have tons of other stuff coming out. But it's just nice that DC has been the king, a lot of the animated side of comic books, and it's nice to see them going lighthearted with this as well. Like I watched the Teen Titans Go to the Movies movie, and there's a scene in that movie which is dark as hell. It's like Batman's parents' death, and Robin goes, I can't remember, basically something dark happens in that. I did not expect to see that in a kids animated TV show. But yeah, it was just nice to interesting to see that Keanu Reeves is voicing Batman. I think it's absolutely hilarious, to be honest, and thinking about it kind of works. It kind of works as well.
I feel like Keanu Reeves just sort of like at the moment now he's just like whatever seems fun, I'll just do it. Why not? Let's have a laugh. I feel like he's at that stage of his career.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. But yes, moving on to the next news item, people. Florence Pugh is in talks to join Dune 2 as Princess Irulan, the Emperor's daughter. Now, she's not confirmed to be on the actual film yet, but there's I don't know if it's rumors or if it's confirmed that she's in talks to join Dune 2, which I think would be very interesting. I did a bit of reading up on the character, and she has an interesting link to Paul Atreides. I believe his last name is. Our friend who's a massive Dune fan will butcher me if I get that name incorrectly. But yeah, it's just interesting. She's an amazing actress, and she actually did star in a movie with Timothée Chalamet recently, in the last 5 years, called, I believe it was Little Women or Little People. I believe it was that. Basically, it was a recent movie. Yeah, so it was a movie called Little Women, and she was in it in 2019 with Timothée Chalamet and Meryl Streep. And yeah, interesting casting news. I mean, we've got a bunch of weird news items this week, but this is just one of them.
Yeah, it's it depends. I'm not familiar enough with Dune to know exactly how the character's going to play in the wider story. So it could go, she becomes the new villain, or she's still the kind of Little Women type woman. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that goes. I need to read Dune, really, but
yeah, I'm looking forward to the second one. I went into the first movie with basically no expectations outside the memes, from the original, and I enjoyed it a lot. So definitely gonna go see the second one. I don't know much about the casting of it, but we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to that
definitely,
one.
I'm definitely seeing it in the cinema. The last one
absolutely.
I didn't.
yeah,
for real?
Still,
that's right. Yeah, and I said to you, you missed out there. Yeah, definitely.
Well, they will definitely. I think when they do some of those IMAX days again, and they will show it in the cinema, and I definitely will be going to see it. And if anyone's up for going to see it again, I will be trotting along to rewatch it. It's a long movie, to be fair. Well, it's not actually as that long.
Not as long as Batman, I don't think.
No, it's not long. It's not 3 hours. That's definitely for sure. But yeah, going on to the next news item though. This is the one. I love the fact that we were talking about this last week, I believe. But I Am Legend is getting a sequel, which I am confused the hell by, because if they follow the alternate ending, okay. If they follow the original ending, how the fuck is this going to happen? Because in the original ending of I Am Legend, Will Smith blows up. He gets a grenade.
Spoilers, Nate. God.
Oh, for a 2008 film?
You know me, I don't care about spoilers.
No, but no, yeah. And it's he's going to be joined by Michael B. Jordan, which I think is really awesome. And So he's been like Will Smith was like, after a decade, Will Smith shut down rumors. This is from IndieWire. He joined on to the I Am Legend 2 production because of a story concept from Michael B. Jordan himself, and they are both producing. Akiva Goldsman is who wrote the original film, is returning to write the sequel. I'm just wondering how this is going to go, to be honest. Because I loved the first one. I thought it was an amazing film. A lot of people didn't like it. It was definitely different than the book, because the book is, it's definitely interesting to adapt the original book, but I just don't know how they're going to do a sequel. I really don't.
It did have an impact at the time, I Am Legend, but it has been quite a few years since that came out. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what kind of traction and what kind of audience this will attract, considering how long it's been out of the public eye, I suppose. We'll have to see what trailers look like.
I'm wondering if it'll be a case of it'll be a streaming film. I wonder if they'll do a streaming and a cinema film.
I think it will fit quite well into the whole post-COVID scene, because it's all about isolation, and everyone's avoiding all the people, and is on his own for like 99% of the film. So I think it will feed quite well into that. Plot-wise, I think there's going to be some major shoehorning and retconning, to be honest, to make that work. But we'll see.
It's a good point. Yeah, I
Yeah.
never thought of it from that angle, to be honest. That might work. We'll see.
Yeah, excellent point, Fergus. Excellent point. On to the TV news, people. We've already done Obi-Wan because we had to get out of the way first, because damn right we did. But God of War is being eyed by Amazon for a TV adaptation. And now reps for Sony and Amazon Studios will likely co-produce, though there's no comment from them. And this is from Deadline. Deadline, I believe, might have been the one to break the story, but it seems that the series adaptation comes from the Expanse creators and executive producers Mark Fergus and Hawk Otsby, and the Wheel of Time executive producer and showrunner Rafi Judkins, as well as the Sony Pictures Television and PlayStation Productions, which collaborates on all TV series based on PlayStation games. This is directly from Deadline. I'm just wondering how this will go. I'm wondering if they will start in the Greek era, or they'll just skip to what most people know of God of War, like from set in the Viking setting. I'm wondering what they'll do there.
I think they'll try and get as much mileage out of it as possible. If it's a very big property, and if this is one of their first attempts at a TV series, they'll want multiple series out of it. So I'm imagining something akin to chronologically following the games pretty much.
Interesting, yeah. I'm wondering who they'll cast. I know people are just saying just do Dwayne Johnson, and I'm like,
I was going to say
yeah.
that, but it's maybe you might want someone a bit younger.
It's not even that. I just think he's got a ton of properties out, and
Yeah,
I'd like a more unknown to take on the role, or a lesser known actor to take on the role, or give someone more of a chance. It'd be an interesting discussion to have. Who maybe we could do a dream casting episode of the show, like dream casting for video games and everything. Who would like to see that? Be pretty awesome to us. But yeah, just Amazon seems to be pulling a lot, because I know there's rumors that they're possibly doing a Mass Effect TV show as well. So that will be I mean they worked with the Expanse, so
yeah, I was going to say it would have been better if the Expanse creators had done that. Maybe they are. I don't know. That would be cool.
And they're doing the Lord of the Rings TV show, so I think that's going to be the drive of showing them, because obviously they took on the Expanse and carried on from sci-fi, whereas the Lord of the Rings is their first big property, like from that major IP. And obviously PlayStation Studios, or PlayStation Games Studios, is PlayStation Productions is pushing this stuff out now, because obviously they've got Twisted Metal coming out, they've got The Last of Us on HBO, they've got the Resident Evil TV series, and they don't seem to be caring which provider they go with. So they've got like obviously like Last of Us with HBO, Twisted Metal is with Peacock, and the Resident Evil is with Netflix. So, and the fact that God of War will be with Amazon will be interesting. The fact that they don't. I think that is actually a good way to go about it. Don't just stick it to one company. Give it to the best one who's going to provide the best, take on it.
Yeah, not putting your eggs in one basket, I think. And it'll also, each of those providers has a different audience. So if you want to get people into buying PlayStations, spread your eggs, spread your advertising. People will be like, "Oh, I want to play the whatever TV show game. I'll buy a PlayStation 5." I'm
Yeah,
sure that'll be a
definitely.
part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Right, going on to games though. The Halo multiplayer season 2 arrives May 24th, I want to say, or it arrives in May. Jesus, okay, right. I just want to point out, right, Obi-Wan comes out May 25th, I believe, or May 26th. This comes out mid-May as well, and we have Doctor Strange in May as well. That is going to be a good month.
It is. It is. I'm looking forward to this new season of Halo. I've put nearly 50, 60 hours, mostly into the multiplayer for season 1 already. So season 2 is probably going to be more of the same. Do we know what we're getting for season 2? Are we talking new maps, new skins, new hats, this sort of thing?
I believe there's a new yep, Chaz one in my went into check it 'cause I
Sorry.
think he's on this.
Yeah, man. I was looking this up. So there's going to be some new maps. There's going to be some new game modes. There is a new armor core to work on unlocking progressions for, which is great. Those are the main things, I believe. And I'm pretty excited about that, actually. I think one of the big things that Halo Infinite is lacking is map variety. The maps that are there are pretty great, but after playing for 40, 50 hours, you do start to notice they repeat a lot. So that's what we're looking at for Halo Infinite.
I'll be honest, I haven't played it in a while now, but I think there's been so many other games for me to play that I just haven't had the chance to. I was actually getting quite good. I was actually getting quite top of the matches, to be honest. I was actually quite shocked. I'm looking for me though. Obviously, as you guys know, I'm more narrative based. I'm really interested to see how they continue the story in Halo Infinite. I don't know. Have you completed the campaign yet, Chaz?
Yeah.
I've just got too stuck on the multiplayer.
Fair enough. No, yeah, it ends in an interesting way, and I'm just wondering how they'll continue. I'm wondering, yeah, if they'll just like rotate around the ring. I'm wondering if that was probably what happen.
Yeah, it does. It feels like you can continue on the same ring, taking out the same baddies, and some factions may re-emerge that you thought you got rid of. I think that's probably how it's going to continue. But I mean, I managed to finish the entire campaign 100% with most collectibles in about 20 hours, which I found a little disappointing. So I'm very much up for more campaign stuff if that's anywhere on the horizon.
According to this article, there's nothing really campaign-wise coming, but there might be. They mention potential online co-op in a future thing. I mean, this is not confirmed or anything, but I think that's more what they hope for. I'm just looking at the game mode stuff actually. King of the Hill is coming back by the looks of it. Something called Last Spartan Standing, which is going to be a free-for-all elimination mode, which will be interesting. And then something called Land Grab, which this article speculates might be similar to Territories or Strongholds. So definitely some more variety coming into to Infinite. So I'm pretty hyped for this.
It's good to hear that co-op may come back, because I know the community was very disappointed about the lack of co-op for the single player campaign there.
As was I. Like for me, especially the older Halos, couch co-op was a big thing, and to take it out feels very not Halo to me. So would very much like to see that in future updates.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back because I've heard, if I remember reading correctly, I obviously can't confirm that when the new season comes out, the original battle pass won't expire either. So you will be able to continue getting those unlocks, which I think is really good, to be honest, because I do hate when battle passes expire. You just can't do that anymore, and yeah, I just think it's really good, to be honest. But yes, we are all excited for that. You guys probably a bit more than myself because you've been playing it more than me. I'm definitely going to go back to it because I think there's going to be a bit of a lull now with my heavy narrative games. I'm probably going to finish Dying Light 2 first and then probably hop back on a Halo for a bit and give that more of a go. But that is the news, people. That is the news, and what a week it's been for news, to be honest. There was so much more else we could have covered, but with the time frame we had and with the time of the episode, we thought it would give you a nice little chunk, especially that Obi-Wan thing, which came in at the perfect time. It was, it was so good. But yes, people, that was the news.
an illegal spy agency discovers the theft of a prototype weapon. Derek, codename Confused Llama, and his handler, Frank, codename Majestic Vole, investigate the theft. A naive man with fanciful notions, Derek sets out on his inept journey to reclaim the weapon from villainous hands, unaware of the hidden tale following him. Enter the world of Confused Llama, A Spy's Tale, a short comedic spy thriller available on Amazon in paperback or Kindle.
We are now going to be getting to our main topic of the week, which is our best video game experiences. Now, that is sort of a broad title at times because it could just be a game you played and what you enjoyed, but it also could be, you know, the feeling you had from a game, the emotions you get from, like, you know how some people smell something that it makes them, gives them a memory of something. When you look at a certain video game scene or hear of a video game, it takes you back to a certain time, or it gives you back certain emotions that could happen and stuff that basically links to that, which I think is really awesome. Again, people, you know, at the end we'll give you the contact details, but you maybe send in to us your favorite gaming experiences, what you enjoyed. It'd be really awesome to hear what you liked. But Chaz, how do you feel like starting us off today, dude?
I want to start off by saying prepare for a lot of nerding out. I'm not sorry, but I want to get it out of the way because you guys know one of my memories had to be a Warcraft thing. There's so many good memories I have about WoW Classic from the announcement itself. The crowd in that video is amazing. Playing with my friends, you know, the week we spent power leveling to level 70 when Burning Crusade came out. But the experience I wanted to bring up, and I've not mentioned this before, was beating the final boss of Classic Vanilla, i.e. the base game. I did this a week before Burning Crusade came out. I did this with a group of 40 people who I'd been playing with for months. The group effort, the coordination, and, you know, it was immense. It took a lot, but it was something I'm really proud of, something I'll cherish, and I'm just so glad I got to experience it from basically a second chance, because, you know, I wasn't even playing WoW when it first came out. So for me, that was a really big deal, and something I'll remember for a long time.
Awesome. Excellent, man. Yeah, I know. I mean, as you know, my main Warcraft contributions is playing Warcraft 3 back in the day. I unfortunately didn't get into World of Warcraft, but I definitely know your guys' time off work with the WoW playing, and also watching BlizzCon, getting together and watching BlizzCon together. It's just nice to see people, you know, have that sort of camaraderie with this sort of thing. And sometimes you have people just like who don't play together. They play separately, and then they'll talk occasionally about it. But then having a group of people who just like dedicated, something comes out and they'll be like, we are getting this shit done. We are playing through it.
And that's the thing, like, when I was originally playing those versions of WoW, I did have a few friends who I play with, but not that many. But now it's been re-released, I have friends from real life who, you know, enjoyed the game just as much as I did back in the day. So it's been really cool to share that experience. And I'm glad you mentioned BlizzCon, actually, because one of the things I wanted to bring up as well was just seeing the new cinematics come out. That's not classic specific, but like, the cinematics just give me such feels. They are amazing, and, you know, some of my friends still quote them to each other to this day. So lots of good moments come from WoW Classic, but or just WoW in general. But that's the one I wanted to mention.
So my first one. So imagine 1997 Christmas. I'm about 7 years old at this point. I get a Nintendo 64 for Christmas with Super Mario 64. So this is my first ever major gaming experience. I've watched people play Sonic and stuff before. Or I guess this really changes my life, really. Like, it is a really good game. Like miles ahead of anything that came before it. And I spent hundreds of hours trying to master this game as like a 7, 8-year-old. I mean, I like you know you used to do the show and tells at school and stuff, the thing I would take in is the Nintendo 64. So just me and my Nintendo.
I would bring in PS1 games sometimes for those. I had to write my name on a sticker on my covers and ruin several covers, but it was worth it because I got to show off my PS1 games.
Yeah, same. I think I was pretty much the only person who did that in my school, though I was kind of different. But it's been re-released on the Switch as part of this limited time deal. So I spent the entire weekend replaying Super Mario 64 on the Switch, and completed it considerably easier than I did when I was 7 with that Nintendo 64 controller.
Oh, yeah, I remember the penguin slide, and that was just, I hated it so much.
I remember it being so hard at the time. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's because I was young or the controller was awkward, but
I still never understood that controller, to be honest. I still don't understand that controller to this day, to be honest. Yeah.
As a non N64 owning kid, I remember looking at it and being like, "What on earth is this? I'll stick to my DualShock."
I remember playing GoldenEye on the N64 controller, and that was an experience to say the least, to be honest. Yeah, just. But no, I was that the part of the pack with the Super Mario Sunshine?
Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy, yes.
I unfortunately didn't get those. I was gonna buy them, but I bought another game, and I was like, damn, I should have bought them at the time. And kind of hoping they come back again. I could purchase them because I know Super Mario Galaxy and Sunshine are like quite lauded as really good Mario games. So, and I came back to Odyssey. It'd be really nice to play that again, to be honest.
The Mario games are good. Just to mention, when you said GoldenEye, I can't remember what year it was, maybe my 8th or 9th birthday, was a round-robin GoldenEye multiplayer tournament on the Nintendo 64. So, yeah, I was that kid.
Honestly, that's awesome to have, to be honest. Awesome to have. For me, I'm going to have to just throw an honorable mention in there quickly. Because I can't really remember this game fully, but the first game I ever played was Wolfenstein 3D on my granddad's PC on floppy disk. And it was the first, and I was 4 or 5 years old when I played it. Maybe should not have played Wolfenstein 3D when I was that age, but I just think it's hilarious that was my introduction to video games, and I've just had a great appreciation for them since. Just I don't know, it was just weird to see a video game like that, and then to think that was my first gaming experience. Now to where we are today, it just takes me back to what it is, to be honest.
I feel like growing up with video games as they made what seemed to me, and I think you'd all agree, like really big leaps, like every few years, like the complexity and what they're able to do. I feel like that really had an impact on me, seeing those developing and games just becoming so much more I don't know, creative and complex and just so much more interesting. It was a good time to grow up, I think. Maybe I'm just being nostalgic, but I feel like there'll be a lot of that in this chat.
I think nostalgia is an interesting thing, because I'm playing Dying Light 2 at the moment. They've got a secret level where you collect these little tiny ducks, demon ducks, and if you put all 5 together, cross these like electric wires to make a pentagram, you can go into like a Doom level to get like a secret level and everything. Try playing it; it's fucking difficult. But yeah, no. That's just my honorable mention. But my first mention is KOTOR, Knights of the Republic, and 2003. I tried to play this game when it first came on PC, and unfortunately, my granddad's PC had like 750 megabytes of RAM, and it needed like a gig, and the PC just wasn't good enough. And I remember getting the game, like doing that whole, honestly, granddad, I'd love to play this game, like convincing your grandparents to buy the game for you and everything. And then I started playing it, and it was run at like 5 frames a second, and it was like the most depressing thing ever, because I'd just been seeing all the stuff up till that point. But the thing was, though, is that Christmas, my mum got me an Xbox, my brother a GameCube, and my sister a PlayStation 2 and a dance mat. And I got Knights of the Republic for the Xbox then, and that was just my entire Christmas just playing KOTOR. I still think that's one of the best game narratives in any game. That the twist in that game, to be honest. Spoilers for the game that's almost 20 years old, people. In 3, 2, 1. But you're playing as Darth Revan the entire time in that game. which I think is insane, to be honest. Like, and the fact that that game is still going today in the Old Republic, and it's a continued story, still linked to that game. It's an official canon to that game. I think is amazing. And I know everyone's hoping for an official KOTOR event, like free eventually, because I know we're getting the KOTOR remake, and I will be taking at least 3 days off work to play that, because that game to me is just amazing for what it did, and I just love coming from Star Wars and then going on to that, because obviously the prequel trilogy we were midpoint in the prequel trilogy at that point as well.
I just wanted to say it's really cool that between yourself and your siblings, you suddenly ended up with almost complete coverage of all the consoles at the time. So that must have been a pretty cool time to be a gamer, I suppose, growing up.
I mean, yeah, like, we were actually really lucky, to be honest, that happened, and I just having that Xbox and that I don't know, I believe I got Halo 2 the same day. So, or around or soon after that time, because I believe Halo 2 maybe was probably 2004. So it was near that time. But basically, yeah, just having that Xbox and having the ability to play that game, and I actually did go. But when my PC eventually became better, or my granddad's PC came back, I did go back and play it on that. So that's definitely one of my favorite gaming experiences. Yeah, but Chaz, what is your next one, man?
So I thought I better include a more recent example, because a lot of mine are quite nostalgic. And I wanted to mention beating Hades. So I wanted to bring this up because I don't complete story games that often these days. I will either bounce off of them or just get distracted with games that don't have a story, that don't really end. So Hades, completely drew me in. The balance of gameplay, and I genuinely was really drawn into what would happen to Hades, with his family and Zagreus, and so much so that when the credits did roll, I didn't even realize that that was coming up. It wasn't something I was kind of actively aiming towards. It was just that I was so drawn in that I finished it off, and that's rare for me these days, that a game will draw me in like that. So that's my next pick.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, like, Hades to me, just as people know from previous episodes, that game is the bane of my existence. I got fucking completed it, but I will not complete it again, because I just can't. Because it just took me, getting to that end of that game the first time was just such a satisfaction to actually finish that. But then being told you gotta play it 9 more times to get the true ending, I was like, no.
See, that's what I initially thought, and then somewhere around the 4th or 5th run through to the final boss, it just clicked, and I was just like, I'm really enjoying the story. I'm getting good at this game. I'm understanding the systems, and after that, the ending snuck up on me in a good way. So,
That's awesome. It's awesome, man. Fergus, what about yourself, man?
So after the Nintendo, I got heavily into Xbox, which I think one of the first games was Halo. So Halo, couch co-op and couch multiplayer, up from Halo 1 until whenever they got rid of the couch modes, 4, 5 maybe. Yeah, that completely ruined Halo for me. But that cemented quite a lot of friendships for me with other kids and sort of like the local area. So then we'd trade games, and because of Halo multiplayer, I got to play a lot more games than I would otherwise buy. So ended up playing like a wide variety of, trade discs and stuff for the week. But always Halo, always coming back to Halo. Not even just playing properly, just doing like stupid stuff like jumping off rocks or trying to fall through the floor and this sort of stuff, get into areas that are not supposed to. Because we played it so much, like we were talking every weekend. So after that point, like the story just becomes meaningless and you just sort of do your own thing in it, right?
Yeah, no, man. I remember having LAN battles, like getting like 3 or 4 Xboxes, people in multiple rooms around the house, so we couldn't see. So we had like 4 people per room, and it's just just the hilarious experiences that just came from that, and just entire days of just getting snacks and like just organize that, trying to convince your parents to actually take your Xbox to another person's house because it was so expensive at the time. So I actually had to have my granddad drop me off because I didn't want, because as people know, I'm accident prone. That does go back a lot further than people realize. So they didn't want me, dropping our Xbox off and whatnot. So, but yeah, those experiences with Halo were probably some of the best growing up. To be honest, yeah, I definitely agree there.
I'm in a similar boat. I didn't play as much couch co-op as I would have liked, or same room multiplayer, though I do remember being in college and us having a day where we all just brought in consoles. I don't even know why. College was just fun like that. And we did some, as you said, LAN multiplayer between several consoles. Oh, such good memories. And that was Halo 1, like old school Blood Gulch, and that was good stuff. And I also played a ton of multiplayer with my friends back then, for Halo 3 and Halo Reach. So definitely got a soft spot for Halo. And yeah, the fact that they took couch co-op off the recent ones it's very strange to me, but always will have the old memories of that on the classic Halos.
Awesome. So my next one is Metal Gear Solid 4. I don't know, that game to me, I've always had a weird love for Metal Gear Solid. Like I always saw it as that game I love playing, but I don't know what the fuck's going on half the time. But I just love playing it still, and obviously the extremely long cutscenes, which I think up until that point I never understood a game could have. It was the final fight between Snake and Liquid, taking over Ocelot. I believe it was that point. And just before that, he's crawling through the fire, and the music's going up, and then he fights Liquid. He fights Snake. He fights Liquid on top of this tower, and like it goes back to like the previous Metal Gear Solid games, and it's tying everything up, and the music's roaring up as the fight continues, and just like feels like an end to this entire saga. And it was just so powerful because also that was when I first got the PlayStation 3. So I just bought it. I decided to get it with one of my purchases, which was a stupid decision when you first go to university and get that amount of money, but I don't regret it today. That was one of the first games I played, and I don't know, it was just such an experience to play, and it was so amazing to see the leap from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3 at that time. And that was just a game that will always be cemented in my mind, because the first place I lived in had like this big bay open windows that you could either open vertically or horizontally, and open it all the way horizontally with the sea air coming in, and in the middle of summer playing it. And it was just, and this big sofa I could just sink into for like 12 hours, and it was just so amazing.
I haven't got much experience with Metal Gear itself, but I must say that the way you can remember like the weather and like the time of year when you were playing it just cements how impactful these moments can be in our memories.
I just remember lugging that PlayStation 3 up the hill, which was so heavy at the time. Getting up early, going to buy it, coming back, plugging it in, and setting it up, and installing, and just getting my snacks in, and it was just so amazing. Yeah, and just it's really interesting how these sorts of experiences do evoke other emotions and other senses as well.
I've definitely got a few gaming memories where it's like that. I can remember kind of what the day was like, roughly how old I was, that kind of thing. So you're not alone there.
Yeah, right. Chaz, let's go on to your next one, man.
Cool. So the next one I wanted to talk about was playing through Silent Hill 1 to 4 with my partner. This was just something we decided to sit down and do because we had an interest in the series, and we went full into it. We played at night, we closed the curtains, and we just decided to go through the story and really figure out what it was about. And we really got immersed, and I'll always remember those, especially 2 and 3. 2 because of the story, 3 because I found that very, very creepy. There was a couple of moments where we literally like had to just stop. It was like 3 a.m. and something just freaked us out too much. We were like, nope, we're done. We're picking it up the next day. And to a lesser extent 4 as well. That was a bit more frustrating to play through, but I also found the room sections. I'm sure you guys have heard of the bits inside the main character's room. some of those were really freaky, and I had to watch from behind my eyes as I made my partner play. So yeah, definitely big memories for that, playing through that series, and I'm glad we did it.
I never played Silent Hill. I don't really watch the films either. I've never been. Horror games never used to be my thing. Like when I was younger, I like Resident Evil 3 was my first foray into like that sort of genre to a degree, and that is actually a quick gaming experience for me. Not one of the main ones I want to talk about, but just like the whole aspect of realizing that Nemesis can come through a window to scare the shit out of you. Still gets me to this day. Like that is a great gaming experience and always been chased. But yeah, no. I might. I wonder if they'll. I think they'll do another one. I know there's been rumors constantly of like a new Silent Hill game eventually, and
Oof. Yeah, that's a sore subject, isn't it? I hope they do, but then again, the track record with the ones they developed after 4 was not great. So yeah, obviously PT was a thing, and then it wasn't. I don't know. We got some good games out of it. Maybe it's asking for trouble to want sequels.
I do remember people getting in the in a room together and playing it together, and it was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, I tried to play it, and I picked up a save after the room went mad and the pictures have eyeballs on them and stuff, and I literally walked out the door, that you start in, walked back in and just paused the game. I was like, nope, I can't. There's a reason I made my partner pretty much play through them while I watched, because I'm really interested in horror games, but I'm pretty bad at playing them, myself.
Oh no, I used to be the same. I think Until Dawn was my first proper horror, because I class Resident Evil 4 as more of an action horror, but not proper horror.
Yeah, Resi 4 is definitely an action. Great game though.
Yeah, but Until Dawn was my first game, and then I had a friend watching it, and he messaged me afterwards, going, "Yep, I did that part. Oh my god, you let the dog die," and oh yeah, no, that person died at the exact same point for me as well, and yeah, just I don't know, that game was. I still need to play the rest of them, but because I'm really looking forward to playing them. I think I'm going to when the next one comes out, or probably just with the recent one that comes out. But yeah, no, those games I'm definitely looking forward to playing.
I was going to mention as an honourable mention Until Dawn as well, because I played that with friends, and it's a great couch co-op game, which we definitely are lacking these days. So got some good memories on that one too.
Yeah, definitely.
So my next one, as you say, it's very much a memory that's kind of linked to a space in time rather than, the game itself as well. But Portal, got Portal, the original Portal for Christmas, and spent the next week over Christmas puzzling through it as a family, which I think is the first time that's ever happened for a game, a video game especially. Yeah, it was so different as a game to anything else I'd played at the time. So it was quite a big step in how you like thinking with portals. But that was genuinely a stretch for the brain at the time. I definitely remember that being a feeling. It was quite hard to get. I'd say I was quite relatively young-ish at the time when it came out. So it's just yeah. So yeah, I spending Christmas puzzling through Portal as a family. So it was a very strange experience, but also very good. Like, we still come back to Portal. I think we came back to Portal 2 as well, following Christmas to do the same thing. I don't know any other game we've done it for though.
When you say your family, do you mean like mum, dad, siblings? I don't know what your
Yeah,
family's
mum,
like.
dad, sister. Yeah, so my parents have not really taken much interest in. Well, yeah, they're not really taking a huge amount of interest in video games. It's just been something that I do. My sister occasionally does, but I've always had. This must have been Xbox. Oh, was Xbox 360? Okay. Yes, this must have been. Yeah.
That's awesome. I've actually never had that kind of experience with my family, so it sounds great. Kind of jealous almost.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my gaming experience, I didn't really have it with my mum or anything, or my family. My granddad, I got the tech side from my grandfather, but only because he sort of like got the games from his workmates and those old, Gabriel Knight or like those Titanic CD games you got, or like those weird Earthworm Jim. I tried to play that game with a joystick, by the way, like an airplane joystick. That was the worst decision I ever decided to do.
Game's tough enough with a normal controller.
Yeah, but I never really had experiences with my family apart from my siblings, my brother, and my sister. I never really had it. Never had it with my family. That's really awesome, though, Fergus. To be honest, that is really awesome.
Just because we're talking about this, I want to jump in with a couple very rare moments I had of gaming with my parents because I'm an only child. So the first one, I had WarioWare Smooth Moves, if you guys know that one, on the Wii. And for some reason, of all the games that I ever played, my mum took a massive interest in this one. And I was playing it, and one time she literally just comes into my room while I'm playing it, takes the controller off of me, and just starts playing it herself. And I was like, what the hell? I was in the middle of playing this. The other one somewhat ties into you mentioning Resident Evil before, Nate. My dad's favorite game was actually Resident Evil 4, and I used to watch him play that like for hours because that's a long game. So for me, I have good memories of that game because of watching my dad, play through it, do New Game Plus, like unlock everything. So I've played it myself, but just the fact that he really got into it brings good memories of that one as well.
No, awesome. That's really great. To be honest, that is really great. So it's on to me now, if I'm correct. Yes, it's on to me. So Arkham City, the second Batman game, from Rocksteady. That game to me, I got that game, came out the day after my birthday. I remember waking up, and I remember waking up to my mum. She just walked into my room because she didn't see me the day before, or I had a day early possibly. She put the box down in front of me, went happy birthday, and it was the collectible edition with the Batman statue. And I remember playing that game. So I played the first one like in one sitting, pretty much. Like I just played like 12, 14 hours. And then this one, I pretty much did the same thing. Kind of regretted it at the time because I wanted to, span it out a bit more, but just having that game was a really great escape for me. And playing as a birthday gift as well was just a heightened great emotion. And I just still remember like playing that game, and just how it ended was just amazing. And I thought, yeah, the open world aspect of Arkham City was great. Just flying around the city compared to Asylum, just the side missions that were included in it, just the sheer scale it shifted from Arkham Asylum is just insane. And yeah, I loved that game so much. Just loved that game.
Must say it's pretty cool that your mum not only like got you this cool game, but she got you like the collector's edition and the right edition as well. Because I don't know, I think I stopped getting games as presents when before collector's editions became a massive thing. But I'm not sure if my parents would have managed to pick out the correct version. So that's pretty cool of her.
She did kind of ask me what I would have liked. So I think she just thought of like, oh, maybe he'll like the statue as well, sort of thing. So yeah, she saw that, and she thought, she'll get me. It was sort of like you get like a main present and like a few small ones, and that was my main gift. And honestly, it was just a great gift to have, to be honest. And I do just remember like opening my eyes, and my mum's just like putting this down, like, oh, hello. And yeah, I didn't realize what it was until I looked down, and just the shock of it, to be honest. But then just playing the game, and I said, yeah, the mechanics in the game are brilliant, and I can't wait to see what Rocksteady do next with the Suicide Squad game coming out. But yeah, just Arkham City was amazing.
I didn't know they were making a Suicide Squad game. Definitely expect to be hearing about that from you in the future.
Oh yeah, they got Gotham Knights coming out from Warner Brothers Montreal this year, who did Arkham Origins, and we got Rocksteady doing Suicide Squad. So yeah, and it's a 4-person co-op game. You can play as 4 people as well. So it'll be a really awesome game, to be honest. Chaz, what's your next game, man?
It's not so much a game, but it is related to video games, and that is seeing video games live. I've seen it 3 times now. The first 2 were quite a while ago, and seeing the Halo suits played live, Warcraft, Sonic, Earthworm Jim, just all of these games that I grew up with. The music in games, especially games I grew up with, are very there's a lot of emotion behind them for me. They're cemented into my brain. So to just see that stuff live was it was awesome, and it kind of marked a point where video games were becoming more mainstream, and it was like a realization that it's something that it can be a big part of your life. And a bonus memory, and this was from the last time I saw video games live, which was about 3 years ago, I want to say, maybe four. The singer of the Pokemon theme was there. I forget his name, but the guy who sang the original Pokemon theme.
Oh, Jason. Jason, yeah, I know exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, his name is Jason something, but we didn't know that was happening. So he came on, he sung it live, and my inner kid just came out, and just everyone in the audience just went absolutely insane for that. Everybody was singing along to it. You couldn't actually really hear him almost because the audience was so loud, and for some reason they also decided to throw a bunch of beach balls in the crowd. I don't know why, but that was cool too. But yeah, definitely got good memories associated with video games live, and it kind of marked a point where it became like a big a mainstream big part of my life.
honestly, I've been to one of them as well. Did you go? Was it when it was at Hammersmith?
Oh, I can't remember. I did one in London, one in I want to say like Liverpool, and then
Okay,
another one in London.
yeah, I did one of them in London. Went with my housemate, and yeah, he took me there, and it was really awesome to go. And he did, I believe they did Castlevania, did the Pokemon. Jason wasn't there for my one, but they did Castlevania, and just seeing the atmosphere. Like I've always wanted to go to a big orchestral performance, and I do want to go to the Royal Albert Hall eventually and see either like Star Wars or Superman, or they play the music along with the film, and I feel that'd be amazing to do. And that video game live was my closest experience so far, and just I've always, I'm a mad soundtrack person, and I love my soundtracks, and just hearing it live is such a, when people say it's so different to when you listen to it on, but because you can feel the music literally when you're there, and the power with it, and honestly, again, that is an amazing gaming experience because you are evoking the memories of these games, but also literally feeling the music from the games you've played. And when you play those games again, you could go back to that time you listened to the live performance and sort of like feel the music more to a degree.
Exactly. As you said, the atmosphere is just crazy too. Just to be in the same space as people who, share that kind of excitement and passion for those games and those soundtracks is great. You know what, man? If it was 2006, I legitimately might have been at that one at Hammersmith. I'm not sure, but it's possible.
Yeah, possibly. Again, there's so much stuff we've done and so long ago now, but maybe. But Fergus, what's your next one, man?
So this will be Elder Scrolls Oblivion. So I tried playing the Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Enjoyed it, but fundamentally broke the game. So I couldn't get into the narrative. When you first spawn into the game, you get given a package that you're supposed to give to some bloke who will give you your first mission, but you can sell that package and not trigger any of the mission pathways. So that's what I did, because I was like, oh, I need to buy a sword with this. I'll just sell it. Anyway, after breaking Morrowind, many years later down the line, got a hold of a copy of Elder Scrolls Oblivion, which was a real revelation. I don't think I played anything quite like it before this point. I've been very into the Elder Scrolls series ever since. But just being able to sort of like hanging out with NPCs and just, chatting to random people and going off and doing quests and making potions and stuff is very, very, it's a very big push forwards in terms of my sort of gaming experience, I guess.
I just wanted to say, Elder Scrolls Oblivion was my first 360 game that I ever played. I still remember booting up the title and having the music come in. I agree with you. It felt very different to other things at the time. It's actually also the, I believe, only game I've ever gotten 100% of the achievements in. So that's something that tells you how much I played it back in the day.
I unfortunately didn't really play Oblivion or Morrowind. Skyrim was really my first introduction to Elder Scrolls, and because I think my PC at the time again wasn't that powerful to play it, and I just think it was a case of my gaming appreciation has evolved over the years. As mentioned in previous podcasts, I never was really into Spyro or Crash or anything like that in the back of the day, and I wasn't hugely into RPGs either. Like I gained an appreciation when Skyrim and Fallout 3 came about. I just think those sorts of games. I'm kind of sad I did miss Oblivion and Morrowind back in the day because I thought they would have been amazing to play.
I've been trying to get back into Morrowind. It's not as user friendly as I remember, so I'm struggling with it a bit. But if they ever start remastering games, I think Morrowind would be a good place to start.
It would be, because that game, although it was very influential, it's also, those graphics have not aged particularly well. Maybe it's just because I didn't play it that much and I don't have a nostalgia for that one. But that could work, a remaster for Morrowind, just saying.
Awesome sauce. My next game is Mass Effect 3. So I know a lot of people criticize this game for its ending, and obviously, there are critiques to be had there, but I will go to my deathbed with saying this. I think it's the best game in the trilogy. I will agree the ending isn't the strongest, but I replayed it this year when the remastered edition came out. Or was it it was this year? Was it last year? Anyway, basically, I played it when the remastered edition came out and a Legend edition, and I just loved it. It just brought back all the memories playing it, and I just think the fact that you get so connected to these characters over 3 games, and some of the decisions that happen, and the characters deciding for you in these games, and just like the repercussions of that in the soundtrack. Again, music is a big part of these games, to be honest. And like when Modern Solus, like he goes, and I teared up at that point. I love that. I love that sequence, and I love that there's the final sequence in the game where you're all charging towards the Reaper lift and trying to get up, and everything's just blowing up around you, and you're just charging forwards and just trying to get to that point. And I just remember the adrenaline of just doing it. Like, I replayed it. It wasn't as long as I remember, but when I first played it, it felt like a really long running sequence of just trying to get to this beam. And I don't know. I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go next. I just think it'll be really interesting. I still need to finish playing Andromeda, because I feel that game deserves a more again another playthrough to understand it. And I was playing it before the Legendary Edition came out, and I was enjoying it. I was actually really enjoying it. But yeah, I don't know. Just Mass Effect 3 for me was, I feel, the pinnacle of that trilogy. People talk about the second one because of the suicide run of the game, and all the decisions you have to make. But I loved the fact that the third one was a culmination of bringing these characters together, and the decisions you've made for all the way through the 3 games for certain characters coming back. And yeah, I don't know, it was just so amazing to me, to be honest. It was so good. But yes, right, Chaz, do you want to give us your next game?
Sure thing. So most of my games, or my lists in this, have been experiences related to games, but this is a moment in a game, and this is from Halo Reach. 3 words: current objective, survive.
Oh yes, damn it! I should have put this on my honorable mentions as well. That was so fucking good for a video game. So good. Like, honestly, when you play a video game, you don't expect that sort of sequence to happen. But I'll let you continue. Yeah, you go. Yeah, honestly.
No worries, man. Yeah. So that stuck with me. I've played that game for many years. There was a lot of good sequences in that game, a lot of desperation. A lot of people went in knowing what happens to Reach anyway. But I think because they made that a gameplay sequence, it just hit so much harder. There's also the doubt that you think to yourself, because you're playing it maybe you can survive. Maybe that there's a way out. And then the cracks start appearing in your visor. The music and the atmosphere, just the empty field of it, and it's the waves of enemies just slowly descending on you, and then you realize you're not going to make it, and the game will just keep throwing stuff at you until your character dies. It was so impactful to me. I remember it all these years. All these years have passed. It still sticks in my head. So definitely one I had to mention for this topic.
And just the cutscene afterwards, where you see the helmet sort of with the ground overgrown it, and it's aged, and just I don't know, just
it's awesome. And the fact that obviously Noble 6 is customizable in that game, and the fact that it's your customized helmet, that just hits a little harder, I think.
Yeah, so to me, it sort of reminds me Saving Private Ryan to a degree, in the sense of what's going to happen in this film, in the sense of they're probably gonna find him and everything, but the D-Day beach, the final battle sequence in that film and everything, and how some of these events are gonna go, but it's just some of the actions that occur, and you play this Halo game, and you're taking you're getting to the Pillar of Autumn, and then you're staying behind, and you're thinking, well, there are other Spartans in the Halo lore, so you're thinking, oh, maybe this character got off on this, in Master Chief at the end of the first Halo, he got off on one ship at the end. Maybe he does do that, and then you realize, oh no, this is this is happening, and just trying to fight your way as best as you can. And I'm wondering if in the Halo TV show, because I know it's a separate continuity to a degree, they might visit Reach at one point and show you how Reach got destroyed. And I'm wondering if they'll show you maybe they'll show you the incursions in space that occurred during that time, because I believe there were fights in space that occurred during the fall of Reach, as well as the ground battles.
Yeah, there's actually a level in Halo Reach where you play
yes,
one of those
that's
battles.
it. Yeah, with the what was the ship called?
I think you're just in a little fighter, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a jet space fight. Yeah, it was pretty awesome, to be fair. But yeah, no, that. Why didn't I think of that game sequence? That was really awesome, to be honest. Yeah.
Honestly, as soon as this topic came up, that was that, and my WoW Classic stuff. That was the two things I was like, have to talk about those.
Yeah, that's so good, man. Feel so ashamed I didn't think of that, because it was such a good game, and honestly, I might probably have to play that game again, because I do think it's an amazing game. I think I do need to play all the Halos through again, to be honest, just at some point. Maybe do a retrospective.
There's a lot of moments in Halo that stick out to me, but that one is the most, I think, at least at the moment. That's the one that I stuck out to in my head.
Agreed, good sir. Definitely agreed. Yeah, and all those characters had such personality, and I'm hoping that transitions over to the TV show. I'm hoping that does carry over there. So yeah, it'd be really awesome to see what happens. And yeah, should have picked that. Such a good choice, man. Such a good choice. Fergus, how about yourself, man?
I have one more, and this is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, a fairly recent addition. So 2017, 2018-ish. Another extremely different gaming experience. So the audio was done amazingly. I don't know whether I can't really spoil it, but but yeah, I just very short enough to play in maybe a weekend. A lot of it sort of the atmosphere and finding out what's going on, and some of the battles are quite hard but doable, and it was just amazing. It was really just amazing. Yeah.
Another one that I was considering as an honorable mention, as you said, Hellblade, so atmospheric, a very unique premise, I suppose. Another one I play with my partner, actually, so got some memories there as well. And yeah, just the end sequence as well stuck out to me a lot. And since you didn't want to spoil it, I kind of don't want to say too much, but the limited death mechanic that it had kept us on edge too. Yeah, great game. I like to mention this game because they coined it AA at the time, and I really like the scope of it. I would like to see more games with that kind of scope. As you said, finishable in a weekend, unique premise, great vision of the game. I would like to see more like that.
Definitely.
Awesome. I got two more. My first one before the end is XCOM 2. So I didn't play XCOM 1. XCOM 2 was my first foray into that series, and we spoke about in a previous podcast. We go back and watch our Dream Adaptations episode where we go into XCOM, which I thought was a really interesting take on that. But for me, XCOM was the game where it upped to the stakes. Playing a game, it made you feel like you had to be extremely tactful to keep your characters alive. Though you didn't, have a audio narrative with these characters, you were building up like a specific narrative for like these characters and like trying to keep them alive, skill them up, but also you could customize your characters. So I named every character after someone I knew, and I created a whole Facebook album of like 27 people. I spent like an entire night just customizing the images of every person I that was in that game. And I had a Facebook memory recently, and I thought it was a friend of ours who survived, but it was my housemate that survived at the end, where basically he had 1 bar of health left after the final mission, and I basically like did a whole, American football style, heroic commentary like of that final battle, like taking out like 5 enemies, throwing grenades at themselves to take them out, and so obviously the accuracy in that game isn't great. So sometimes you have to just throw a grenade at yourself to, pick the enemy, and just how insane like going into that final mission was, and playing the Starship Troopers music in the final battle, because I'll always come back to that film. I don't care. I love that film so much for that stuff. And yeah, that game was amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing Midnight Suns, the Marvel game they're doing. But I'm really hoping for an XCOM 3 eventually. I'd love an XCOM 3, and maybe go into the subterranean locations possibly. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to see, to be honest. But yeah, that's my last but one game choice.
I just wanted to ask, does that mean everybody died except your housemate's character?
Yep, everybody died on that mission. That went on that mission, everybody died.
Rip me.
Yes, no, that was I'm still trying to remember, like, if I actually had like the screenshots of actually I may have actually taken a picture on my phone just to remember specifically which characters survived on that mission, because I think sometimes it's just good to remember certain characters who do that. I've probably lost that now, but basically, yeah, it's just a case of when it comes to those sorts of games, I just think it's really awesome how you can get so tied to characters, but you get tied to it in the sense of when you lose this character, you really do feel losing these characters, and I just think that was insane, to be honest. But yeah, that was my last but one choice. Chaz, do you have any more?
I had an honourable mention, I suppose. I'll throw that in just quickly, and that is just playing the Jackbox games with friends, especially when lockdowns were on and there wasn't a lot of social things. I've had a lot of fun drunken times playing things like T-shirt battle, especially, and I can't remember what it was, but the Pokemon type game that they made, and oh my
yeah.
god, I have laughed so hard that I've woken up in the morning and been like, I probably really pissed off the neighbours, just from being so loud at like 2 a.m. or something. But some good memories from those.
Oh yeah, no, those were great, to be honest. And yeah, I bought a new tablet and I love it. I love the fact that I could just connect in, like everyone else is drawing with a mouse, and I'm just like skillfully going in with my tablet trying to put more detail into my picture.
Me too, man. Me too. Though to be fair, like by that time I probably had enough beers that it's kind of counteracted the any advantage I had from using a tablet.
I mean, yeah, the fact that we had like a beer counter, like a drinks counter as well, and we were checking up on it, and like there were many drinks had at that point, to be honest. But
yeah,
yes.
I feel like those games helped lockdown pass a little easier.
Oh gosh, yeah.
House parties and all that.
I didn't really go out much before lockdown because I was, I didn't drink at all, and ironically I started drinking in lockdown, but re-drinking in lockdown, and that sort of like helped me gain my social. I think it was like a nice sort of gateway to get my social side back, and it's helping to transition into real life as well. So yeah, you're definitely right. That game was really great for lockdown, to be honest, especially for that. Well, we will finish off with my final game, and it is Breath of the Wild. So this is where, like, you know, I'm kind of glad I ended on this game, to be honest, because it's a good way to wrap up, like, you know, experiences and how also they can help people. Because, you know, I had a bout of depression about 5 years ago. Like, I was really bad, and I got Breath of the Wild at that time. And I think having a game where I just literally escaped into a different world just to roam around, and I got the Switch and I hadn't had a Nintendo console for years, and I just played it for like 2 weeks straight. I put like 140 hours into that game. I didn't realize till halfway through I could have a horse at the beginning. So I was just running around like for like 70 hours in that game until my friend told me I could have a horse. And yeah, that was interesting to say the least. And a friend of ours saying to me, how did you complete all these dungeons? Like over 100, I believe there's over 100 dungeons in like 2 weeks. And I was like, I just did it. You know, it's thanks to Jordan, actually, because Jordan put me onto Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, the anime, and I watched all of that when I was off. But also, it was that and Breath of the Wild that kept me going, really, and it really did help. And I think, you know, I actually saw an article one time about someone actually played Breath of the Wild as well, and they had a state of depression or low mood, and it really helped them. And it does just go to show sometimes that sometimes people look at video games in a stigmatizing way of, like, you know, violence, or it could have violent triggers, but also, you know, people need to realize that video games can be a coping mechanism, not in just a bad way, but also a really great way as well. Because sometimes if someone's got something going on the rise, it's weighing them down so much, having these games which can let their mind escape allows their mind to sort of not switch off completely, but allows them to take the pressure off and just think of like this interesting world to just explore and just, you know, think about different things and not have to worry so much. And I just think, like, you know, it just really helps that people do that, and it definitely really helped me.
I was just going to say, like, I can relate to that from, obviously I mentioned WoW Classic already. For me, that was a great way during lockdown to occupy my time, occupy my mind, not think about what was going on, and also just a great way to be social and connect to people, like both friends who I knew played and people I met online. So yeah, games can really be helpful in a number of ways. I've One of the things that struck me about Video Games Live and its initial message, it's almost out of date now, but that's good because their message was, you know, games are not just this nerdy thing. Games are, you know, they can be like, people can be emotionally invested, people can be into the art and the music, and you know, their message was basically just that video games are so much more than what people initially perceive them as.
Exactly. You know, people say people can cry at art, people can cry at paintings, people can cry at music, but I've actually had like people say to me, why did you cry at that video game? I'm like, because I don't know, I just felt some emotional connection to it, and that does happen. And because you put time into these things, you do get emotionally invested. And I don't know what it was with just Breath of the Wild. I hadn't played a Zelda game since Ocarina of Time, and a friend just recommended it to me, just playing it and just, like, you know, having that sort of like just because if I didn't have that, I don't know, you know, I wouldn't have had much else. And I think also I played it in handheld mode, which I kind of regret now, to be honest. I didn't play it on the screen, but I also think playing it in handheld mode, it allowed me to keep it close to me and actually pull it up really close to my face and like sort of switch everything else out around me. And I think it allowed me engrossed by it. And I just think, yeah, it was just traveling that world and seeing everything that was going on, just like, I don't know, making some meals in a game and, like, you know, climbing, like going to these vast distances to see what's over there, and intriguing my mind and making me all relaxed. It just really did help, to be honest. And I think that's where I pretty much wanted to say that people, like, if you ever, you know, having a downtime and you do like video games and you feel you have yourself pulled away, maybe go back to one of those games that you loved when you were younger and playing that game again and having that sort of, like, you know, that experience you remember and trying to remember that. And maybe it can, you know, give some levity to how things go, and maybe, you know, it can help. And that it did for me, and maybe it can help for you. That's just something that can happen. And that just goes to, like, you know, gaming experiences in general, to be honest. It can really help you.
I was going to say, this, if there's anything this episode shows, it's that, you know, video games can take you back to different times and maybe better times. So, you know, we managed to speak a lot about our experiences from different points of our lives where, you know, video games were beneficial and memorable to us. So that just sort of goes to prove, really.
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. But that is it, people. Honestly, if you want to get back to us with any of your favorite video game like experiences or stuff that's really helped you get through like tough times, any games that helped you get tough times or joyous times, maybe you met a partner through a video game, maybe you gained a new life skill through a video game, that can happen. You just something just really helped you out, and experiences are adapted in different ways for everyone, and I think it's really good to think about that, to be honest. And it's really good that video games are evolving to that point as well, that people are getting so connected in many different ways and hearing all these different experiences from everyone around you. But yes, if you want to get in contact with anything about that, feel free to drop us with any questions or queries or in grounded that or any of our previous podcasts to nmipodcast@outlook.com. That's nmipodcast@outlook.com. Or follow us on Twitter and Instagram, maybe dropping us a little comment on there at NMIcast. That's at NMIcast on Twitter and Instagram. And also check us out on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, and now SoundCloud. And search for NMI dash when you need more info. That's NMI dash when you need more info. And make sure to come back next week as we delve into. It's going to be an interesting topic next week. We're going to be sliding away a bit. We're going to be doing adaptations/remakes that disappointed us, and what different approach we'd have wanted to see them take, and what we would have done with them. It's going to be an interesting topic, to say the least. So yes, people, I've been your host, Nate. Thank you to Chaz and Fergus for joining me today. It's been really great having you here, fellas.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's been fun to get a bit nostalgic.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for listening. You stay safe, everyone. And remember, enjoy those video games and enjoy those experiences. I'm Nate, and I will speak to you later. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.